For you tonight here on SportsCenter, Dianna Russini there at the XL Center in downtown Hartford. But you are not alone, Dianna. Who is your special guest?
I am not. UConn head coach Geno Auriemma joining me live here from the XL Center. Before his team goes for 90 straight wins for the second time, they did it 7 years ago. Geno, can you compare this season going for 90 compared to 7 years ago when you had a four-time All-American Maya Moore on your squad?
Yeah, obviously, it's a little bit different. You know, that was the first time, and when you're going through something like that, back then it was, you know, we were doing something that only UCLA had ever done, and so there was a lot of hubbub and everything about, you know, men's basketball, women's basketball, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we had to deal with all that, and all that came with that. And the difference is this time, nobody's paying attention because it's, you know, it's our record, and, you know, so everybody says, yeah, go ahead, you know, and, you know, so it's much different kind of team. You're right, no four-time All-Americans and any of that stuff, but players are having fun, and that's all that counts.
How confident are you going into this game against South Florida, because they have a lot of players with international experience?
They do, and the fact that we play them pretty much 3 times every year, they know us, we know them. They're not going to come in here like some other teams and just being in awe of what's going on here. They're going to play, and, you know, Jose Fernandez does an amazing job, and they play a different style. You're absolutely right. They're not easy to play against, and they always shoot the ball great. And yeah, we got our work cut out for us tonight, but it's supposed to be hard. You know, everybody says, you know, we make it look easy. Well, you know, we make it look easy, but it's hard.
You know, a lot of people that are watching this program are giving you a lot of credit for your coaching this season, kind of saying you took a little bit of a vacation in the, you know, the last 4 seasons. You had Brianna Stewart, but now you actually have to do work. Yeah. How do you look at this season?
Well, I figured I haven't done anything the last 4 years, you know. I never even went to practice the last 4 years. Actually, I did it by Skype. You know, I sat in my room in my pajamas, you know, I Skyped in and just called out a couple things every once in a while and drove by the office, make sure my parking spot wasn't full. And, you know, now I actually have to work for my money, and I kind of like it. I miss it, you know, not having to work. I mean, you know, all those guys back there, you know, talking on TV, you know what I'm talking about.
I know a little something about that. That said, you say not a lot of people are paying attention to this right now. What about the women on this team? Are they looking at this streak going into this game? Have you guys been talking about it at practice? What's it like in the meeting room?
There hasn't been a lot of talk about it until last weekend when we were in Florida, and, you know, the subject came up from one of the media people down there, and I figured let me address it with the team. But that's the first time that we've ever said anything about it. So what's the point? You know, I mean, it's something that we could have been talking about for the last month, and it serves no purpose. So how are they? They're fine. I mean, they seem to be handling it great, and you know, we're playing South Florida, and the way I'm looking at it is we're, I think, 14-0 or something like that, and you know, we're just trying to win one more.
Geno Auriemma going for 90 straight wins for the second time in UConn's history. Thank you so much for joining us.
You got it.
Back to you, Michael.